Time to check in with our lizard overlords. What are they up to? Well, this.
Is this the worst hour now?
Are we done our first hour?
Yeah, we're into our worst hour now.
Keep your expectations of this episode low. Starting the worst hour now, I feel like we've crossed into like maybe not great content hour.
Welcome to our worst hour.
Well, this is the actual Not Our Finest Hour, worst hour. If you guys want to stay, you're welcome to stay. I've kind of done more than enough talking than I usually do, so I'm just going to rest
like
my
a whole
voice.
year's worth of your talking added up together on this podcast. It's like an entire year of Mike's talking.
Mike, how much time do you spend putting this together? This had been a hell of an effort.
Yeah, it was a lot. I don't know, because I got the idea like a couple of months ago and I started piecing it together. And then when I realized that February 11th was, I realized yesterday, I quickly scrambled and put the rest of it together. That's why I ran out of questions and came up with that wheel of chaos there.
Mike, the internet's been calling you the next Hardscape Mr. Beast. How do you feel about that?
I don't know about that.
Interestingly, that Mr. Beast Games was at the airport where my daughter plays soccer in Toronto.
Yeah, down to you.
They built the whole thing there, so we watched them build it as it went. And the best part is he made a comment that he recorded it in a small field in a small town. Like, it's Toronto, man. Like, again, it's not in the US, but it's a pretty big place. So anyways, it was interesting to watch them build the insane amount of stuff they built for that to record for a week or whatever, and then tear it all down. It was crazy. So, Mike, is that what we're doing next time?
What next time? Oh, the actual, we'll build something.
Next time we do this, we'll build this.
I figured like the cool thing would be to have a sponsor for every challenge. So a sponsor gives away something. If you win the challenge, you win immunity, and you win something for each challenge. And then maybe we'll do that at the Auman shop. Who knows?
That'd be awesome. Let's do it.
Once I eat the Perma Edge on, obviously every person is going to want to be associated with this.
Yeah.
Every single hardscape company is going to be like, wow, look at how amazing that is. That's a great, they're going to want to be associated with it. So
after I eat the Perma Edge.
So I was running out of
landscape products can you ingest?
Sorry. I was running out of challenges, and I was thinking of sending each of you guys. Have you heard of surströmming? It's the smelliest fish. It's in a can. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We did that in Sweden.
Yeah.
I was thinking of sending each of you guys one of those, and whoever ate it then won immunity.
I would have died. I would have died on this podcast.
Dude, that's the worst smell you'll ever smell in your entire life.
I've never smelled. Is it bad? Bad?
It's so bad. It even travels through the walls of buildings. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
What kind of fish is it?
It's called surströmming, I think. I think it's Swedish.
It is. When we went to Sweden with NCon, they had like a tasting of it with a room of what was there, Jeremy? Like 100 people there?
Yeah, maybe something like that.
They opened up the package. I'm not joking. Literally cleared half the room.
And then we went outside, and you could smell it literally outside. It was coming out of the walls.
I'm serious. I'll never forget it. It was the worst. Yeah.
That'll be the next challenge in the next one for sure then.
So is there
though.
Are you guys in the States having a salt shortage?
No.
Here there's no salt.
No, I don't. I mean, we haven't had, at least by me, we haven't had hardly any snow. It's like we're supposed to get 3 to 6 inches tomorrow, but up until now, it's the least snowiest winter for the last 50 some years. We have like less than 10 inches.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't plow anymore, but I haven't heard that. And I see the ships over in Portsmouth all the time. I live about 10 minutes from where they unload. And I just saw a big ship I went to Boston the other day, and over the weekend, there's a big ship there being unloaded too. So I haven't heard that, but
normally when
might even just be regional for you there, Mike. I haven't heard about this either. I'm not far away.
So normally when we go to the dock to pick up salt, there'll be like, I don't know, our truck and maybe a couple other trucks. yesterday Christy was sending me videos of 75 trucks in line trying to get salt.
Whoa.
It was crazy. She said people were fist fighting and like she said it was wild. So it's it went from like being fined, all of a sudden there's a huge salt shortage. And I don't understand how that happens, but I guess here, if you have a municipal contract, you have to keep that aside on the dock no matter what happens. So there could be like, 40,000 tons in a pile, and it like my one buddy, I don't think he has like started the year probably with like 50,000 tons in his dome, and he's down to like 5,000. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't understand how it happens. I'm like, can we not just, anyways, I was just wondering if that was everyone's experience or just Toronto's.
What they'll do here is they'll start slowing it down for private contractors. Like, because we're like in a pattern here. We're getting snow here where I am, like we haven't had in 4 or 5 years. And then the state starts to panic and they put a lockdown on it and they start to, only allow so much to go out.
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening.
They'll do the same thing here. The state will just take over and then
Yep.
the little guys don't get anything.
Yep.
That's what's happening in our world. Salt fights.
That is something to fist fight over. Wow.
Probably not the worst fist fight ever, but yeah, doesn't seem like it's a. Most of those people aren't even using the salt; they're just hauling it.
Right.
Like they're not using it; they're just fighting about someone butting in line in front of them or whatever. I don't know. Wild. So far, the price hasn't increased though. I'm waiting for that to be the next. Well, Jordan would be waiting more than me. I'm just hauling the salt around. But
yeah, it's no big deal. It's just our liability, right? Yeah. So, no big deal.
It is kind of a screwy situation.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I'm sure they're gonna figure it out. I think it's no big hoax or whatever. Not a hoax, but I think it's our suppliers around here. They're good, so they're gonna figure it out. Not worried. I'm not too worried about it.
How's the spring looking for everybody?
Good.
Don't everyone jump in at once. It must be fucking great.
Sounds like we're about to add value here. I don't know if we should go down this.
Okay. I'm just trying to create conversation amongst 9 people with a common theme. Since Mike gave up on hosting.
Yeah, I'm out.
And I told Chad I would carry him if he voted for me. So
I'm holding you to it.
he's holding me to it right there. Like, I'm just saying, how's the spring look? I haven't had any residential leads, but I also don't pursue that work. So I don't take it that terrible that I haven't had any, but
We just pulled a $400K job and lost $450,000 job by $200,000, which is just bananas.
That's wild.
Yeah, I spent half an hour on the phone with our estimator. I'm like, how can you do this? And he's like, if you did the job for that money, you would pay $40,000 to do the job. So anyway, I'd rather lose it for a lot of money than lose it for a little bit of money, right?
Yeah.
So
you can't shovel your way to a better price.
I heard that once.
That low.
not $200,000, I guess.
Yeah.
We were looking at the tender results, Jack and I, at one that a client of ours was bidding, and the winner was like 1.6 and our client was 1.8 and the next price was 2.8. I was like, wow, that is a drastic difference. It's $1 million difference on the job. And then there was about 8 people that were between 2.8 and 3.1. I'm like, I don't know. If I was our client, I might be looking at that going, thank God someone fucked this up worse than me, because it's like $1 million missing from the fucking tender. Like, so how
Coke
about you?
Zero, huh? Coke Zero, huh, Mike?
I'm a Coke Zero guy, yeah.
With ice or no ice?
With ice. I'm a Coke Zero guy with ice.
Nice.
But it's not canned in Canada. So I'm using up the last of it, and then I have to switch to Pepsi.
What?
Well, I'm pre-switching so that to avoid future tariffs.
What are you gonna go with? RC Cola?
No, Pepsi's bottled and canned in
Oh, yeah?
Canada, but Coke is not.
Like it used to be, and you're like you're done with your supply?
I'm running out whatever Coke I have in the house currently. Well, I guess the tariffs are held off for 30 days, but I don't know how many of those days we've used up right now. So I'm taking the Coke that I have now before the tariffs come. When I'm done and the tariffs come into place, I'm gonna have to switch to Pepsi because it's bottled in Canada, so we wouldn't, or canned, I guess, whatever, won't have the same tariff on it, I guess. Trying to source out more economical soda.
Do you think if you don't change your spending habits and still continue to buy American, you can expedite the whole process of becoming the 51st state?
Yes.
Instead of doing this really slowly, get it over with faster, and then it's done.
I heard that.
They can stop complaining. Let's just do that.
I guess the next question, what hurts worse, a 25% tariff or a 60% increase in the carbon tax?
Yeah. Oh.
Or at 300% or whatever, 6 times, or it's insane. Like we're gonna get taxed to death here no matter what, no matter who does it. So like, get upset at the guys that have been doing it all along, not the guy that just popped up.
Mm. Oh, I'm not. I was never upset. I said this last week that I'm not upset with a negotiated agreement to have an economic union. I'm upset when someone says we're just going to take you over. That makes me upset. That makes me upset. If you said, I said I'm not opposed to the idea of an economic union or a shared currency, or I think a lot of those things are good for both countries. I don't think it's just good for us. I think it's good for everybody. But if you're just going to like use economic force to like take me over, I get offended. I don't like that. Feels aggressive. I think that's a fair comment. If we were doing that, we were say like perhaps cutting off all the electricity to the eastern half of the country, that might offend people, if we just aggressively did that. Like, so anyways, that was my problem, has always been more of my recent problem. Well, also the host from Fox News was like, I'm insulted that you don't want to be an American. And I'm like, really, dude? That seems aggressive. Like, are you guys insulted if, like, honestly, like the American people on here, if someone says, I want to be from whatever country I was born in, are you guys insulted by that? Is that insulting to you?
No, I mean, the only thing I would say is we don't have paper straws anymore. So
Goddamn right about that.
And that was that was monumental.
He was right about that. I'll give him, that's about the only credit I'll give him, but yeah.
I figured, Mark, I figured you would at least agree with that.
Yeah, I do.
I was going to apologize for my for voting against you for your meme I didn't like the other day, but now I take that back even, Mark.
No, you don't have to apologize. We're all entitled to our opinions.
That's right.
Canadian turtles
can't all be right like me, but we're entitled to an opinion.
PK, I hope you keep trying to turn the power off, because that'll hopefully encourage us to get our own built down here and not be in that predicament too.
I also said that's the point that I made, was maybe you should learn how to like power your own country. That seems reasonable. Like, I don't think it's. I agree with you. I don't know why. I guess New York doesn't have a lot of rivers or waterfalls or something to build hydro, or we're probably producing it so cheap it makes no sense. Like, because we have the huge dam at Niagara Falls. Well, you guys have Niagara Falls. You have your half of it. What's it called? Horseshoe Falls or something?
The worst, not so good side, yeah.
It's just
not the same for us too, though. If we get a pipeline built across the country and start refining our own crude oils, then we can be more self-sufficient too. Same thing.
That's true.
Yeah, we ought to, and hopefully that'll change. We'll have our own independence on that kind of stuff moving forward. And
well, you guys might get hit with tariffs. You might get hit with tariffs on Techo Block products moving forward, though. That's a big hit.
Wouldn't that be something? And what do they say? If goods and services don't cross borders, soldiers will. Yeah, we don't need any of that.
I wouldn't want to see the White House burnt down again.
I gotta go, guys. See you later.
All right, Andy.
Take care, Andy.
Thanks a lot for coming.
Have a good night.
We talked about this last week, that we spent a lot of time bidding a commercial project, and right before the tender closed, the GC we were bidding it to walked away from the project because there was the client wouldn't offer any guarantee of tariff increase on the signed contract. So the GC we were saying, because they wouldn't offer protection, literally just walked away from the job, which was like 2 hard weeks of our estimator's time. And for them was like a $400 million job. But I guess if no one's going to offer you any kind of protection, it was probably as irritating as it was, I felt like it was a better decision to walk from it, because you could put yourself in a pretty precarious position. Like on that job, we had $350,000 worth of site furniture that was coming from the States to Canada. Add 25 points to that, I don't think you're making any money.
On site furniture, you're not making much anyway.
Well, you don't make any money anyways on site furniture. It's the stupidest. Every time Jack gets a job with a lot of site furniture, I'm like, I'm good, man. Like, go price something else. Like, can't mark it up. Can't. It takes a day to install all of it. Like, there's no money in it. You can't make a penny on it. So
he bid one for us. It was like $400,000 in site furniture. I'm like, who do you expect to pay for that? Because I'm not waiting 120 days to get paid for $400,000 worth of furniture.
So, normally in ours, he must put 50% up front.
Some GCs will do paid upon delivery, but you're still putting out 400 grand. So
that's when I think like residential world's maddening. I forget sometimes commercials just as crazy.
Yeah. It's fun though. You get more stories out of commercial landscaping.
He needs to go outside. I just haven't been able to go.
You can be a little more open on what's going on.
Yeah.
I always like that about your stories, Chad. They're always. That's one of the reasons I voted for you on the social media and things. You're always effing this and that on site, and I love it. It's stuff I think everybody.
You can't swear a lot on a residential site because the homeowners are looking through the windows and stuff. And I've had a client come out to us before. She's like, I didn't want to come outside because I thought your guys were fighting. Like, because they were yelling at each other and swearing. They're like, no, this is just how we talk to each other. Like, you fucking idiots. Like, on a commercial site, that's fine, right? You have no one to answer to. The GC's not going to be like, you guys were swearing again. They're always swearing. Look at these monkeys that we hire. But anyway, that's
I decided some of you guys might not have known, but like a couple weeks ago, a driver and I had a confrontation that drives for us. Not a confrontation, but a discussion about how he felt like I didn't know how to run a business. And after going to the bank with my wife and watching her talk to the bank, I determined that I don't know how to run a business. And he was right. So today he texted me about coming back, and I said, yeah, you were right. I don't know how to run a business. So he's coming back. I think sometimes admitting when you're wrong is good. I was watching Kelly in action and said, Kelly's running a business. I'm just working at a business.
But
it's just like operation.
Your employee doesn't know how to run the business either. So why is he yelling at you about something that he can't do either?
No, it was just a fair comment. Now, at first I got a little offended, but now I realize it was fair commentary to my whole existence. So I should, I also thought about it really hard and was like, man, this guy was actually not that big a pain in my ass. He's a good driver, and it's harder to find someone that will drive and work. And so his own reliability also helped him. But I think that maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe I don't know. I feel like I'm at least acknowledging that I might have acted in a rash way.
A book I'm reading right now, I just started today. It's a good read, Winning with Accountability. And it talks about that of always asking your team, how am I doing? Right. And so it's funny. I just read about that today. So that plays out.
Would you be scared to ask them?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I would be scared to ask them too.
We're doing that this week, but we're changing a lot of stuff with our company, of a lot more two-way feedback, and a lot more accountability this year for us. The book's really good. I'd encourage you. Sam Rankin actually referred it to me, the Etch Outdoor guy there in the Midwest. That's a good read. And it's 100 pages. It's easy. I've read half of it on the plane today.
What is it again?
Winning with Accountability. I'll send you a screenshot of it, Mark.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I've been underwriting. It's funny. It drives me crazy. It's stuff I already know, but You know, sometimes you just need like an affirmation or something to just kind of back it up of like, yeah, I really need to do that. Or, you know, a lot of stuff I do not know. And so it's just like, oh yeah, that's good. Never thought about it that way. So we're going into this year because we're going to have the biggest team we've ever had, which is 7 or 8 people. And like, we got to get real serious with accountability and KPIs and all this crap, because we've had 3 or 4 always real good guys been with me a long time, and I haven't had to like babysit that too much. But that's going to change. That's got to change a lot as with what we're trying to grow out over the next 5 years. So
I would be scared.
Last couple of years, in the end of the year, beginning of the year, basically we have like a little luncheon and everything, and we ask everyone to weeks in advance be prepared to let us know kind of what they want changed, and rarely do people actually come to the table with any answers. They just listen to the things that we want to do, and they're like, oh, that sounds great, let's do that, let's go, let's do that, but they never tell us what they want to do, which is frustrating, obviously. But we give them a notice to do it too as well.
We did do a lot of surveys last year, the last 2 quarters of last year, with everybody just kind of asking. I asked ChatGPT actually to do a couple surveys for me, and I turned that into the guys. And a couple of them were heavily based on like what motivates them or inspires them, and then the other one was just like in general, like what do you like or not like about the place. And some of the feedback was interesting. One of the things in that book today was talking about like it's really important that you listen to, or it's really important that you understand how you're how you're perceived versus how you think you're perceived. I gotta go get the book. It's a good line. It's a really good. I'm gonna go get that. I'll be right back.
I would be
hijack following him.
Yeah.
I would be scared because I suck at changing things. I'm like this endless creature of habit. So they could say something and I could agree with it, that I need to change this or I need to change that. And in my heart though, I know I'm probably going to do nothing because it's just who I am as a person. I'll just roll along. So I'd hope that I would be able to accept it and change, but then I worry that I don't know, maybe that's not me. Guess it would be interesting to see. I think I would have your experience, Jordan, where they would all just stare at me and be like, are you paying for the beer?
Seriously. So you tell them in advance, right? It's like, okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to tell you, stuff that I want improved and where we're going forward, how we're changing things. I want to know what you want from us. What can we do to make your lives more enjoyable and so on and so forth, right? And then it comes their turn and they're like, yeah, everything you said sounds great. Like what you guys said sounds awesome. Like maybe I should ask them before we order the food or something. I don't know.
My guys
Start
are just
terrible ideas and see if they still say it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually a great idea, man.
We're going to cut everyone's pay this year.
Yeah, we're going to cut everyone's pay. We're going to work 16 hours a day. We're only going to pay you for 12.
I've talked a lot to them and said, like, figure out what's important to you. Because what I think is important to you that may not be true. So
exactly.
And some of them everyone that works with us, they all have accommodations for sure in some way. Well, you've met lots of them, Jordan. They're accommodating kind of people. I think they all already have some stuff that's important to them, or they wouldn't stick around. But
yeah, you have the benefit of knowing them for a long time, right?
Yeah, most of them I've known a lot of years. So it's
yeah. But yeah, everyone should have their own set of rules, essentially, at the end of the day. Or you should have accommodations for every person, or I don't know. I'm not going to say you should, but I think it's a good idea. Is what I'm trying to say.
I'll share this real quick, and I got to run, guys. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to speak over somebody.
No, go ahead.
Okay. This is out of that book, Winning with Accountability. there. But it was this just hit me hard. Again, my guys have known me for a long time, and so like I've grown a lot over the years and all that kind of stuff. But people deal with us based on what they think about us, not what we think they should think about us. So like, oh, I bust my ass for the company, and I'm up working late for you guys and up early to make sure everybody's got work and stuff. And like my own perspective of what I'm doing in the company may not be the same as like what their perspective is. It was just a good reminder for me, but whatever. That hit me specifically. So, all right, guys, I got to go. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Caleb.
Bye, Caleb.
One of these days when I leave like an old man once I find the screen thing.
What camera do you have? It follows you around.
My wife is going to kill me if she knows that thing scanned over into all the shit in this room.
Okay, I'll black that out when it followed you.
I bet.
Let's cut that up into a segment for the Not Our Finest Hour.
Yeah, to make a reel out of it.
Expose. Yeah, here's Brittany now.
Zoom into all the different things.
When I got on the Brett, the camera went up on all this crap over here, and I didn't know it was just the whole screen, all this crap forever. She's impressed. All right. See you guys.
Thanks, Caleb.
Later, Caleb.
I think that one of the reasons too that I thought twice about See You Never in the spring was because I've always been a huge advocate of the devil that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been an advocate of that for a long time. I'm not saying it's right. I think that too. I was looking at my life going, man, do I want to hire someone new and train someone new? And this guy sucks at communicating, but like, whatever. Is this the worst thing that could happen to me? I don't know. I think too, I had been like working because last night I was actually specifically driving the truck that he drives because the client requested that exact truck for whatever reason. And I thought to myself, if he was here, he probably would have been doing this at 5 o'clock in the morning instead of me. So maybe that's something. I don't know. The devil that you know is a thing. I don't know.
Did this guy apologize too?
He's not that person. He just sent me a text that said I'm available for snow shifts if needed. I went, cool.
I would have been more forgiving if he apologized too, but
you're younger than me. You still care about those things. When you get old like me and Mark, it's not that important.
You might be right.
You just let it.
Let you know in 12 years.
12 years. I'll be around in 12 years to hear if you know or not. Yeah. Let it blow over.
That depends how much Perma Edge you eat in the meantime, but
depends if it's poisonous. It might be a very short time.
I don't know that yet. You haven't read the MSDS on that. Hopefully that comes with your package.
What's the MSDS on a spoonful of Perma Edge?
I want you to mix it in your mouth.
One way to find out.
Install it on the site.
Mix it in my mouth and install it.
Yeah, you might want to save a can of Coke Zero for that.
Yeah. Do you think that was what pushed me over for the win? The offer of the Perma Edge
Honestly,
video?
that it felt like that played into it pretty heavily. It kind of swayed the vote right at the end.
Yeah, I want to know how I ended up being the most trustworthy person out of everybody in the group. That like boggled my mind. Like, really? The guy who makes pickle videos? That's the guy right there. I was so
you can't trust the guy that's going to lie to you about pickles.
That's true. Those individuals who have pickles are not that good, to be fair. And I generally eat them because they make good videos. They're funny. But last night I was so wiped out driving. I was like, I'm gonna eat this pickle and not even make a fucking video. I'm just gonna randomly eat this individual pickle I have in my bag for a video, but I'm too wiped out to make the video, so I'm just gonna eat the pickle anyways because it legitimately tastes so horrible it will keep me awake for a bit longer. I was moving snow with this kid, and he had never loaded a dump truck before last night. And I thought there was like 2 parking lots to do. And when we finished those parking lots, it was about 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, oh, we can go home. Perfect. This is good. We can go home. And the kid gets out and he says, hey, they just let me know we have to go out front and move the big pile from the parking lot out front. I was like, holy fuck, I am dying here. I was like, we need to leave here. I said, okay, man, let's go do it. So we go out front, and the kid's frustrated and angry, and he's young, and he's whipping around the skid steer, and he spun the skid steer right into the front tire of the truck. And he only hit the tire, which is good. There wasn't no damage, but he wailed on it. So I got out and I walked up I said, hey man, like you just hit the truck. And I think he thought I was gonna like freak out. And I was looking at him going, if I scream at him, I may not get home ever. So I calmly looked at him and said, dude, I need you to load these 7 loads of snow slowly and get this done. I don't care how long it takes, but destroying the truck is not going to get us home faster. Please do this slowly. And I gave him a fist bump through the screen, and he successfully loaded the rest of the loads, and I went home. But I was like, man,
they got to think of a better fucking system than loading these things with skid steers out near you.
That's what they do when they do it with whatever's on site. On site was a skid steer,
Did
right?
you not hire a loader that can fill a truck in 2 scoops or 3 scoops instead of 10 minutes with the skid steer?
I think last night took a long time because there should have been 2 trucks. Like the site was like if we'd had a second truck on site, but then a lot of the people are getting paid by the hour, right? So to put 2 trucks on, they don't make as much off the trucks as they do off the skid steer, right? Because they don't own the trucks. So their trucks are marked up, but most of their money's in the skid steer. So 10 hours in the skid steer with 1 truck is better than 2 trucks and 5 hours.
Yeah.
So
until the guy with the loader comes in next year and swipes all the money because he can do it in half the time.
Yeah, but if you already have the money, what do you care?
Yeah, for that year, it's fine, I guess.
Yeah. Or a lot of clients only know what they know. There's a lot of people are moving snow right now, trying to get prepared for these 2 big storms that are coming, and some of them don't have a lot of experience moving snow. So one of the people that called me was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna push all the snow together into one big pile and then load it in the triaxle." I said, "Sure, man, that sounds fantastic. Let's do that." So I need you to show up at 3 a.m. to pick up this load of snow. This 1 load of snow. I was like, "Yeah, no, that's not happening, bro."
Mike, I've got a bit of a question about the trucking world that maybe you could help enlighten some of us landscapers here.
Sure, bring it on.
Is our trucks being pushed a major issue in the trucking industry? And if not, why do so many people put "do not push" or "if you push, you pay" on their trucks?
I don't. So I read that too. Do not push, and I'm like, are you employing a shitty driver that's going to let someone push on the back of the truck? Like
This is what I'm sort of trying to figure out. Like, who's so mad about this, and like, why are they so mad?
I also think that potentially we like as a company, we don't put our trucks in positions where people need to shove them out of the dirt with an excavator or a dozer. Like I wouldn't even take that job. Like I wouldn't even go there. Like I think some of these people that are doing like mass excavation, I think that might be more for them because they're burying the trucks axle deep and then trying to get them out of some farmer's field. But we don't do that style of work. So we've never had this problem of people pushing on the trucks constantly. I see them too, and I'm like, what are you people doing that like? And the only thing I can think is like if you're in the people are pushing the trucks out of the field for mass excavation, but I would rather park the trucks or burn them than go do mass excavation. So like if someone said you can take 3,000 loads out of this field in a mass excavation, or you can burn your truck, I would say let's light that bitch on fire. Because I just wouldn't, it's so hard on them, I just wouldn't do it. We had a client sending us to a mass topsoil excavation last year to pull topsoil off for them. We did it for 1 day, and then I called. I was like, "Yeah, we're never doing this again, man. Find someone else." And it's one of our biggest, well, probably our biggest client. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing it anymore." You can send your own friggin' trucks there. Shit show. Guys are coming out of the hole 60 kilometers an hour. Trucks, it's destroying them. Like, whatever, man. It's not worth it. I don't know what the pushing is. I don't understand it either. Like you push, you pay. Like, is someone behind the truck going, this truck's not going fast enough. I'm going to ram it with the dozer. Like, I don't understand what the hell's going on either with it.
It's obviously they're very upset about it though. That's the thing, especially whenever it's the push you pay. That's why I wonder, like, That must be a big part of their existence.
Yeah, it must be a big, yeah, I don't, but I've done big excavation. I don't see this being like a huge problem. Like if you went and pushed on any of our drivers' trucks, they'd be out of the truck freaking out.
Well, no one would do it if you had a sticker on the back.
Do you think the sticker is actually a deterrent? If you're the kind of person that rams into the back of dump trucks, do you think the sticker is a deterrent? Like, I'm surprised up where you are that the sticker doesn't have to be in French.
Oh, it's always bilingual. No push a pas, as they say.
Oh, is it? Do they actually have it on the truck in both languages?
No.
No, it'll only be in the one language, but it depends. It's realistically the closer you get to Chad is where that stuff starts happening. It's not necessarily me.
Not a truck
He's
around
the
here.
halfway between Montreal and Ottawa, so that's where a lot of that goes on.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know
like
what.
the people from Hawkesbury who are from Oxbury.
Yeah, those trucks don't come out here usually. They stay. They stay in the French places. They run their trucks cheaper too. So we already can't run a truck at 115 bucks an hour. So I mean, if they want to run them at 105, they can keep them out there.
Oh man, we got people running for 87 bucks an hour here.
$87 an hour.
Yeah.
Owner operators.
Yeah, everyone. I've had people text me and DM me for 80 bucks an hour. I'll come and do whatever
Really
you
send
want for
someone to
80
Weed
bucks an hour.
Gardens for that.
And I'm like, I don't, hey, everyone, I don't know how you survive on that. There's some corner you're cutting, I would guess. Like, but I'm like, man,
I have laborers who I bill out at that. And you want me to send a triaxle dump truck out for $80 an hour? No.
Doesn't matter
yeah.
how pink your fuel is, you can't hit that
Yeah.
number.
Yeah. Yeah, this year, I'm not putting up my trucking rates at all. The only increases I'm going to have are based on the gravel pits, which one gravel pit was raising their prices 10 points, which is crazy. And then another gravel pit's only raising it 2 points. So I'm going to guess it's going to fall somewhere in the middle. But even everything we do, I'm not putting up any like bins, everything. None of it's going up this year. It's all staying the same. Minus the cost of gravel. Like, if they're putting up the gravel, then I got to cover that cost. But I just don't think it's going to be that kind of year for us.
Those guys that beat me out by 200 grand, PK, they're bidding work near you. Jack told me about it.
They're in Ottawa?
They're from Ottawa, and they're bidding work out near PK.
What's the company name?
I'll write it to you in the thing. I don't want to give them any fucking.
Fair enough. You
ammunition.
guys are already at risk of getting sued. We don't need any more, eh?
Yeah.
You know, I've never heard of them.
Why have I heard of that name?
They're thieves. Like they gotta be. And I could understand if they beat me on one job by 200 grand. This is the second year in a row where they beat me by hundreds of thousands of dollars on a job. And I'm like, okay, they won't be around next year. Well, here they are again. You know?
Realistically, though, man, it takes a long time to grind out a business.
Not really. I could be bankrupt in a year if I worked for the prices that they work for.
But you could still keep bidding. Like, you just start owing huge amounts of money and you have a huge debt burden that you can't handle. And like, you just keep, like, I don't know that our big client that went went bankrupt was ever profitable. Like, I think that it's just becomes, there's so many people propping it up because they, and I'm just as guilty as the next person. Like, I'm not taking myself out of the mix, but like, the company's losing money, but they owe you a ton of money. So you keep propping them up and doing work, trying to keep them from going. Like, I did that for a long time, guaranteed. Right. Like, I know I did. I was propping it up saying, okay, let's hope it gets together or I get paid. Because, as soon as you stop going, like, by the end of that whole episode, like, they would call me for a bin and they'd be like, how much for a bin to this place? And I'd be like, 40 grand.
Because
They'd be
that's
like,
what you owe me now.
no, they'd be like 40 grand. What are you talking about? 40 grand for a bin? I'm like, what do you care? You're never going to pay me for this anyways.
Yeah.
Like if I'm doing this just to hopefully help you guys collect a holdback. So I might get some of the other money you already owe me. So whether I'm charging you 40 grand or 50 grand or 300 bucks, this bill is never being paid. So who gives a shit? Like it's
That's an
probably better. It's better
conversation.
for me on writing it off if I charge you 40 grand for the fucking bin.
Yeah.
You know, we settled one of the lawsuits got settled today.
Nice.
After the lawyer's fees, we ended up with 20. It was the job cost us 80. Our bill was 82,000, and we walked away today with a whopping 21 grand. So
Yeah. Better than nothing.
and so I agree. I think it's actually a really big positive because there's a lot of people who ended up with nothing from dealing in that mess. So to walk away with a quarter of the money, I think was a big win. And even better, it's over with. That's over with. So I never have to talk about it again. I don't have to deal with it again. And I can just move my life forward without it constantly getting dragged backwards 3 years by some email from a lawyer. Like that's done. So it's better to move, and we get to write off the $60,000 loss, and we get to write off $60,000 against HST, which is taxes, Mark, for you. We have to collect tax and then distribute it back to the government. So we get to save 60 grand on our HST. So that's a good for this quarter when it's not, this is probably our worst. Our quarter, this is our second quarter. It's usually our worst one. So although we've been busy the last couple weeks. So that's good.
You get to write that off straight as a 60,000 off HST, or it's the 13% of 60,000 as an ITC?
Well, we've already paid that, because we invoiced it, we already paid that HST, so they write it back against our HST bill this month.
Yeah.
The 13%. Yeah. The 13% we paid on the 60, they write back because how you have to pay HST way before you get paid.
Oh, yeah.
Which is super awesome. It's the best thing ever. So at least this month we'll get to write that down or whatever. So that's, I guess, saving. It's just us getting back money that we paid. It seems like a huge win, but I'm like, we're just getting back some money we already paid. But I still, in February, I'll call that a win. Getting back some old money that we paid that we shouldn't have, I'm going to call that a fucking win in February. So,
yeah.
And fuel went up and then it came down a bit again. So that's good. For us anyways, we spend a lot on fuel. So it's, and there's 2 big storms coming here. So are you guys getting the snow, Chad?
Yeah. We got 25 tomorrow and then a quick minute break. And then we have another 15, it looks like, on Saturday and Sunday.
How about you, Matt? Same?
Yeah, same thing. Same story. It all just kind of tracks along the St. Lawrence off the Great Lakes on those big storms like that. So we're getting the same deal.
Yeah, we were 50. What were we, Jordan? 15?
10 to 15, yeah.
Tomorrow? And then
basically it starts tomorrow evening and then it's going to go into Thursday, basically morning. So
are you
doing one of those fun ones where we do everything twice because it's not going to stop till 9, 10 a.m. in the morning. So that'll be fun.
Are you using the paid weather app?
The what?
Well, everyone that I talk to now has this paid weather app that's supposedly way better.
There's one we get through Landscape Ontario membership called KSMI. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I looked into that too. Yeah.
You get it free with an LO membership.
Oh.
I was looking into that one day in the I don't know, middle of the summer, going in summer into fall. So I was looking into that. But I don't know. I guess I forgot about it. Fell asleep.
I get a couple daily updates in my email from them, and it's a lot more accurate than the Weather Network.
Yeah, I know how to read through the lines on the Weather Network or whatever, but I mean, we got screwed over the other day. Yeah, but that's no. That sucks.
Do you think that the weather...
that happened here too? That little surprise 5 centimeters that after the storm sort of thing.
Yes,
everyone got backed up by that.
Yeah, we were plowing, and I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" Everything I'm doing is freaking getting covered over. I was like, what am I doing right now? Should I just like stop and just wait? But like, I need to get these places done. But luckily, it was like, I think it was, yeah, so it was Friday, Saturday morning. So it was going into a Saturday. So about half our properties were actually open on Saturdays. So whatever, it's just snow. It sucks. But fuck.
I've concluded anything to do with it sucks.
You got the best gig in fucking out of anyone.
I don't. I think that
Well, when the snow's done, it's not even snowing when you go out.
Oh, but here's the thing, and I don't disagree with your perception, is that it snows, it's inconvenient, you plow it, you're done, right? For me, it snows, it snows, we don't really do anything, we're all sleeping while you're working, obviously. But then for like the next 2 weeks, it causes chaos in my life, one storm. Because people are calling, you're going to work, like it's good we're going to work, but it does create this like, this year I actually have trucks assigned because we have Arntz is like taking a truck every day for salt. So like I called Christy, I said, you're only working during the day.
Perfect.
Because I can't mesh that anymore. Like it was becoming
I love that reliability.
It was becoming hard to have people working all day and all night and all day. And I was like, okay, like I need to take a truck and say, this is our daytime truck and it does what it can do. And if you need a truck during the day, if it's not available, you need to wait. And then all the other trucks will work. But it does create a bit of sort of ever on chaos. I'm interested, since there's now like a paid weather app that's supposedly more accurate. Will the unpaid, I want to know, do the people who own the unpaid weather app also own the paid weather app? Because it's almost becoming advantageous for the people that own the unpaid weather app to make it less accurate, to force people into the paid weather app.
So I've heard a conspiracy theory about the unpaid weather apps, is that who checks the weather the most? The people that are working outdoors and affected by the weather. So therefore, if there's always a storm in the future in the forecast, those people will continue checking it, thereby being shown more ads and generating more ad revenue for the unpaid app. So there's always a storm in the future as a money-making scheme for the unpaid weather ads or weather apps.
I think too, like now, before you would get 5 centimeters of snow and it was 5 centimeters of snow, right? Everyone's like, oh, 5 centimeters is coming. Now it's like storm advisory, 5 centimeters.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm like,
this is exactly it.
Like, but you're right, because it says storm advisory. Everyone's back there going, shit, there's an advisory. Holy crap. Do not drive. 5 centimeters is coming. Like, okay, it's like 5 centimeters of snow. Like, I feel like we should be able to function. Like, I get if 15 or 20 centimeters is coming, then maybe that's a storm advisory. Was that even a storm advisory though? 10 years ago?
Back in my day.
Really even, I mean, I'm pretty young, but never used to be a thing. 10, 15 centimeters. I mean, the other day when we got, was it less than 5 centimeters? And then there was a risk of freezing rain. They freaking closed schools and canceled buses and everything. I was talking to Derek. I was like, the world is soft now.
Oh, the world is soft.
If we put a tariff on the snow.
Tariff.
Anything that comes from the south.
I noticed that all the Americans bailed out, eh? You see who's left here?
Yeah.
Like, I think they're soft.
All Ontario.
I didn't say that though. You can point that out.
They're all blaming the time.
Right, I got voted up first anyway, so
they're sitting here blaming the time zones. It's all about the time zones, man.
Mike, who got voted number 1 on the very last question of the survey? We never got that far.
I was looking at that. There's 2 more. So there is who do you want to be most like? And J Squared won that. And then who do you want to have a beer with the most? And PK and the Landscape Daddy tied with that. Now all of them were really close. All of them, like the most answers were 3, and then it would go 2 and then 1. So even like if you won it, it was just by 3 votes.
When did you send the survey out?
Just before, with the invite email.
Oh.
I had to do it last minute because I didn't know who was going to bail out and who was going to be in. And I didn't want anybody to talk about it beforehand.
I thought it was fun, Mike.
Was it? I hope
I had
so.
I had a really good time doing it. I enjoyed it a lot. It was good.
It was
Well, maybe I have an altered vision though because
you
won.
won.
maybe my
Oh, super creative.
my vision was a bit. We should do Wheel of Fortune. You got to develop.
I'm not going to
Hardscape
take
Wheel
that
of
on.
Fortune.
Hardscape Jeopardy.
Hardscape Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I thought Survivor would be cool because there's a lot of variety in the challenges and stuff that you could do.
Oh, that was super cool, man.
I liked your
That was
wheel.
smart.
Your
A
wheel.
lot of
that
effort
just
put into it.
Spin the
Wheel.
wheel and get eliminated, and the whole thing is just...
Chad, you got Auman on that one, didn't you?
That was by
Yeah,
far
yeah.
the best one of the
Yeah.
entire thing.
Well, all right, fellas. I'm gonna bow out.
Yeah.
I'm tired, so it was good having you guys on.
Good to see you guys.
You guys should come on every week, anytime. Come on and juice up the conversation a little bit. Plus, I might be suspended again in 30 days. So, thanks for everyone who listened. Thanks for Matt and Jordan who stuck around right to the end. We noticed all the Americans bailed, so goodbye, Americans. Good Canadians stuck around right to the end. That's the end of the podcast.
Thank you for watching. Yeah, those people run the world. They're so impressive. What a bunch of freaks.